guys, today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful phone holder with crochet. The full written pattern is on my Etsy shop. The link will be in the description of the video. This is the wool that I'm using for this project. I'm going to be using 4-ply equivalent for all of the wool. These 4 are for the flower and they are cotton wool. This is a 4-ply equivalent, but it is a soft acrylic, and this one here is also cotton and 4-ply equivalent. You'll also need your crochet hook of choice. I'm using a 3.5mm. You need a pair of scissors and a tapestry needle. I'm also going to be using stitch markers just to make it a little bit easier for everyone to see, but that's completely optional. We're going to begin with our 3.5mm hook and our green wool. I've put them together. Now you're going to start by making a slip knot, so pinch the wool in between your middle finger, your index finger and your thumb. Wrap it around twice. Pull the loop furthest from you across the other one like an X. Then pull the other one over that one there. And then pull that one through. Just like that. And that's your slip knot. Now we're going to get our hook and we are going to chain. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and you're going to chain about 30. Now this is for the phone part, so you don't need that big of a loop. I'm just going to use it this size. This is 30 chains. So I'm now going to add my stitch marker to that last stitch we just did. Now I'm going to chain 50. So I've now chained 50, so in total I have 80 chains that I've made. Now I'm going to chain 2, yarn over, skip the first 2 loops from your hook, go into the third, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that is our double crochet. So I'm now just grabbing my stitch marker again, and we are just going to do double crochets all the way down. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we are just going to continue to do that all the way down until you meet your other stitch marker. I'm now coming up to my last stitch of the double crochets. Now we are going to kind of sew our work together. I'm just taking my stitch marker out. Make sure that your work is straight and it's not twisted or anything. And go straight into that other side and do a slip stitch into there. Then I'm going to do a slip stitch sort of into this, sort of just where you can work into. And then I'm going to do my last slip stitch into this stitch here on the other side, and then do another slip stitch on this side into here. And that is your work fastened together. So now I'm going to chain 1 to fasten off, and I'm just pulling it through, but you can always just cut your wool. So now we're going to work with this chain that we've made. Make sure you leave a long enough tail. I'm going to get my tapestry needle. Just insert it with that, and that will also make sure everything's fastened together and neat. Just get your tail and tie a knot, making sure there are no gaps or anything. I'm going to go into this stitch here, so making sure that it's straight, and then just going into this bit here, and there's your loop there. And now I'm just going to weave my ends in. I'll show you how to do the ends for one, and then I'll just do the rest off camera. So I'm just going into the back stitches here, and I'm going over and then under the stitch, and now we're just gonna cut that wool, and then we're going to pull it tight, and there's your ends weaved in. The only one we have to do now is this end one. We'll go on to our flower. Now we're working on the flower part of this tutorial. I'm going to start with a magic ring. You can also chain 3 and then slip stitch, but I prefer to do a magic ring. To do a magic ring, like before, pinch the wool, but then wrap it around to create a cross. Then get your hook and go underneath the first loop and over the second one and pull that through, and then kind of twist it. Then you want to get your working yarn and grab it and then pull through, and that is your magic ring. With my technique, it also makes a chain 1, so that's why I prefer it. But with a magic ring, you can tighten or loosen it by just pulling that tail end. So we already have a chain 1, so now we're going to chain 2 more for the equivalent of a chain 3. Okay, so now that you've chained 3, yarn over, insert your hook back into that magic ring, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that is a chain 3 and a double crochet. Now chain 3 again, and now go back into the ring with a slip stitch. So just pull through, and that's our first petal, and we're going to do that 5 more times. So I'll show you once more. So chain 3, yarn over, insert your hook back into the magic ring, pull through 2, pull through 2, chain 3, and now insert your hook back into that magic ring again and slip stitch. So I've just done my last double crochet, and now we're going to chain 3 and then insert our hook back into the loop and slip stitch. Now I'm going to pull my working wool and then get this tail end and pull it as tight as you can, and that's the start of our flower. Now I'm going to fasten off because I actually want to change colors. So I'm just going to, right here, I'm going to chain 1 and pull that tight. Now what I like to do here is just tie a knot for my magic ring to stay tight, and now I'm going to weave these ends in, so I'll see you back once I've done that. I have my flower now with my ends weaved in, and I'm going to go through the front of the flower. Get your next colour of wool if you're changing colours. Just wrap it round your hook and then keep it tight. Now we're going to leave that tail. Make sure you actually leave quite a long tail. Like, if you think it's too long, then that's great, because we're going to use that to sew it to our work later. Now just put your petals down and go in between 2 petals and chain 3. So after you've chained 3, go into the double crochet in the middle of those chain 3 and then double crochet and do a single crochet. Then chain 2, insert your hook back into that same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 and do another single crochet. Then chain 3 and insert your yarn back into the middle of your flower. I've just done until the end, and now I'm just chaining 3. I'm gonna go back into that circle again and doing a slip stitch, and now I'm gonna just chain 1 to fasten off, cut my work. Now you have a choice between using this side, or on the back you could use your tail to sew it together. Now I actually think I'm going to use my tail. I'm going to weave this in and come back. I've just been practicing where I want to place it with my old phone, and you can place it wherever you'd like, but I'm thinking about here. Now pick your preferred side that you want it on. Grab your flower. You need your tapestry needle and just tie a loop. And because I'm doing it with the tail, I can just choose where I want the middle of this to be. I think I want it about here, so I'm just having a look at where that stitch sort of is. I might go down just by 1, then I'm going to pull that through that work. Just now quickly just choose a kind of way you want it to go, and now we're just going to go through. So through the back and front of each petal, we're just going to fasten it on. When you're doing it from the front side, just make sure you're not leaving too much of a gap so it's visible, but the back doesn't matter as much. Usually I would recommend to wrap it around, but I don't have enough wool. I'm just going to recommend to do a knot. This is how it looks. Grab any phone case, pull your chain through, and then get your work and pull it and flip it through. And that is your phone holder. That's the tutorial complete. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that it was helpful and that you enjoyed making this project. Please let me know if you have any questions, And of course, the full written pattern is available in my Etsy, and the link will be in the description.